You know, a lot of times, once the family leaves the house, a lot of times you never get all the brothers and sisters back in the house at the same time ever again. But in this case, the 5150 show lives on. I introduce you to Brother Bobby, OG Darlene, Zoe,
Yes, sir.
and I am Corey Holcomb, the most hated, useful motherfucker in the history of the United States of America. And this is the 5150 show in our bootleg category, our bootleg system we put together just to bring a little show because we've been away too long and there's too much shit happening. Too many hoes getting away with shit without getting put on blast.
Oh, gotta
Too
be
many
hoes,
lame
huh?
ass motherfuckers out here on TV. Nobody check them. That's what we are here for. We are here to restore balance to the pussy motherfuckers who have not been called out. Hey, Stephen A. Smith. No, I'm just playing. Hey,
Oh my
check it
God.
out. This was real. So Bobby and Zoe were talking about some topics that they brought because what we wanted to do today was just hit everybody with a little bit of everything that's been going on because people hit us on Twitter like, man, when y'all gonna bring back the 5150 so we can talk about this, talk about that? Zoe, what, Bobby, what was that y'all had?
Well, I wanted a moment of silence for the casualties since we've last been on the air, and I want to send out a moratorium for Paul George, who found out today that the stripper girl that he met and had a liaison with, and for those of you who are uninitiated, that means he met her and he thought that he was sexy, and he found out that she was on the hustle, and she produced a young one, 5-month-old little girl, and now the judge has said, that's your kid, sell that Ferrari, and give up a piece of that $20 million you get every year. So we just wanted a moment of silence for brothers like him and brother Ray Rice, 50 Cent. Time to time, even Mayweather's been, a victim of circumstance. So as we look at what's going on right now, I think that we should just be conscious of the fact that money don't always save you.
Moment of
I always
silence.
say to you, hey, Paul George, this is what I want to let you know, man. I know you got enough money to fuck the hookers. Fuck the strippers at the club. Because, like, some people, they don't just go see the strippers. They fuck the strippers. You got that fuck the strippers paper. But, look, you can't hit the strippers raw. Skeet in them. What the fuck was you thinking? You didn't just break your leg. You broke your bank, motherfucker. God damn, you a stupid motherfucker. You don't fuck strippers raw. I bet you licked their ass from the back, didn't you?
Ugh,
Boy,
Corey,
boy, tell you something, boy. Yeah. I know you laid up in a hospital bed like this right now. Oh, my leg. Your wallet. Anyway.
So, Corey, you mentioned Stephen A. Smith a minute ago. Is there a particular reason why he took such a hit for slipping and saying, in essence, that women need to kind of watch their mouth and avoid some of the brutality that is often dispensed when, you're a little loose with that tongue?
Stephen A. Smith used to have a show before First Take. And he brought on Too Many Brothers. He had Cat Williams on there. On his first show. And they got rid of his black ass. So, now he's on First Take. He's back used to being able to take bitches to nice restaurants. And he don't want to fuck that up. So he made a mistake and spoke his real heart about that women's situation where, they got this whole thing going on now where they talking about women should not be hit no matter what and everything. And Stephen A. was talking about, sometimes they bring it on themselves. That got him suspended. And ever since he has come back from his suspension, he is kissing Master's ass. And I can see that tail right here coming from the back of your ass. It's like an extra hand to pray with. Stop kissing ass, Stephen. They still ain't gonna like you. They know who you are because you spoke your mind.
He's trying to keep a job, though, Corey. He don't care if they like him or not. He's just trying to keep a job. Sounds like it.
That's why you here, Darlene, because you're the voice of reason for those guys like
What?
that.
Not that I could care less about the fool. I don't even know
No,
who
I'm
this
saying,
is.
like, of course he's trying to keep
I don't
his
even know who this
job.
is.
Just like a lot of those guys are trying to keep their job, but they talk bad about us and make us look bad as they represent us. And I
then
just
they
want
got
to
to
say,
backpedal and kiss ass.
But they got to know
They
once
talking bad about us, and then they got to backpedal
But once
when they
they're
cross the line.
once they're committed on networks and things like, what is he on?
He's on
ESPN.
ESPN.
Well, come on, man. You already know when you walk through those doors that you know what you can and cannot do.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
this is what
there's
I'm
a
saying.
limit.
This is what people.
This ain't no
this is
that
what
ain't no
people-
internet. Yeah.
This is what the people never got a chance to say. Stephen A. Smith talked bad for black people for a whole 2 weeks before that happened about how black people ain't accountable
up,
for this.
no
we
tattoos,
we need
all
to
that.
take our tattoos off. You need to dress a certain way. He even had the brother Dyson on the show, and Dyson was trying to explain to him about
The
know
system.
how he was bringing it too. He was
Yeah.
the system and how he was bringing it. And he basically tried to offset everything the brother Tyson said.
Yeah.
But then the first time he said something about women getting in order, they suspended him.
Well, you know, the Ray Rice situation, for example, that check left hook. For those of us who follow boxing, it's pretty much what they was, a nice, compact, get up off of me punch. And all of a sudden it became, you know, the most devastating blow since Kermit Washington knocked
You
out
talking about
Rudy
Ray
Tom
Rice?
Johnson. Yeah. What's your take on that?
Well, Ray Rice, this is what happened. Ray Rice, he messed up real bad.
Oof.
Not because of what the media is saying. I don't give a fuck what the media is saying. Fuck them. They doing that for a reason. Ray Rice, you fucked up when you punched your girl. You never close fist any woman you care about.
How do you hit them, Corey?
Open hand pressure is love. That means he is trying to help you.
Yeah, when she was coming at him, he had all the time to I thought a hand was going to come out and just hold her back, like her throat even, or her chest.
Right.
And this fool cold cocked her, but the thing is, what happened afterwards? This fool is not, he didn't even lean down to say, is she still breathing? Did she cut her head? He didn't care. He just disregarded after that. He flapped over her body. I mean, it was just cold.
But he may have been suffering from PTSD because I've heard varying accounts.
What is
One
that?
is post-traumatic stress syndrome because they were in the casino and according to some accounts there was some gambling going on and she was losing quite a bit of his money, and at the same time she hit him
Their
up.
money.
Yeah,
they
well,
weren't
and
married.
they're fighting each other.
It's his
They were
money,
both
you're
they
right,
both
Mike.
spit on each other. They were both kind of going at it. So
But it was tied to something that about another woman or something, and it spilled out of the.
Texting.
They got put out for the voice levels that they were speaking at.
They
And-
were arguing before they showed him turn that corner on TMZ.
Oh
right?
my God! They got put out of the casino. They got put out for the disturbance they were creating in the casino.
So he was already fired up.
And she was sniping at him, and she assaulted him en route to the elevator.
you can see all that. Yeah, you can.
No, you don't see that as many times as you see that check
some of it.
left hook. You know, yeah, they showed that.
But Bobby, all that long time afterwards, come on, that was crazy. He didn't even
What?
check and see if she was even still breathing. Come on, she's face down.
He wasn't in that same state of mind. You know,
Well,
it's hard for people to really. I've never hit a woman, but I thought about it enough to know that it's a scary thought. All right, once a man loses or he crosses that line,
Right, he lost his control.
he's gone. He's just trying to get out of the elevator and
Yeah, but he's
figure out
flopping
what to
her.
do
I mean,
next.
he's a football player. He could have just picked her up and threw her over his shoulder or
No,
something and walked to the
He wasn't done
hotel
with
room.
what just happened though.
Yeah, he's stepping over her. He drug her halfway out. Come on, man. He's a football
wait,
player. He couldn't
wait.
even take her all the way out the damn
At that
elevator.
moment, he was a caveman.
But let's keep it in context.
Please.
When the videos and all of that stuff came out, they had reconciled and got married and
Well, I think
forgave
that
each
was all
other
spin stuff
and
from
went
NFL.
and went to counseling and what happens in America is if somebody who works at the hotel gets a hold of the tape, they can then sell that tape to TMZ, and what you were trying to put in your past is now in the public domain because some third party random person got hold of the tape and got it out there to the world.
'Cause he did
and now
admit.
they got to relive that crap.
Because he did admit in the beginning.
You know,
He
they
admitted
gotta
everything.
relive- I mean,
he said
he
he
admitted
punched her.
everything.
But,
Yeah, in the
but
beginning.
this is what I said. This is
But
what
the
I
visual
said.
is a whole nother story.
Right.
I said this on your show, Zoe, and it probably needs to be said again. Ray Rice at that time had money to be represented by the same people Caucasian are represented by. So his punishment was lenient.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that this black man's punishment was so lenient was brought to light. It pissed a lot of people off. So
Right.
powerful people made that elevator tape relevant because there's all kinds of tapes out there on the internet I see.
Oh my goodness.
Somebody showed me a tape today where this police is just beating up this girl.
Is that the one, the CHP, when he's
homeless
MMA?
No, this is another one. There's probably thousands of them
Right.
out there.
Yeah.
Where they're beating up on people. Police officers, men who already are armed, are beating up on women. And these things aren't blown up like that because that's not who they're after. That's not who they're trying to make look bad.
Yeah.
So they can kiss my ass with that Ray Rice shit. The only thing I would tell a Ray Rice is, brother, you can't punch your girl. You just can't do it.
That was straight. Ooh,
Right.
You can't punch a girl.
You can't Jackie Chan her just straight to the mouth. You can't do that.
Well, what about assault? When is assault, and when is it, well, she's a woman and a man should never retaliate? Because she assaulted him when they came out of the casino.
I'm glad you said that.
Right, but Bobby, he's a man. All he had to do was mush her. All he had to do was hit her in the chest, mush her in the face. He should just pushed her back. He could have held her away.
Okay.
But I think that's part of
All
the
right.
problem.
What about it when a woman, because some guys have a tendency to go with big women. What if she's a big woman?
But she wasn't.
But what if that's what I'm saying. We got to have a law that spreads out all of the situations. Is it a weight class situation or what? What are we dealing with here?
No.
It's what, and if it's an ongoing thing. See, there's a bunch of different levels that we can look at it at, because my parents. Remember, you already know this story. I mean, my mom used to, every time she was losing an argument, she'd start swinging on him and she'd start hitting on him. But he knew this, so a lot of times he would avoid even talking to her because he'd know that would come up. And he never hit her back. As far as we know, he just, she would be hitting on him. He would just walk away. He'd leave.
But I'm asking the question one more time. When is assault not assault?
I have the answer. Zoe, did you want to say something?
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
I want everybody to listen to this, especially black, brown, yellow, red people. America is in need of a criminal to fill these jails they are billing all the time. So the answer to Bobby's question is, if you're not a Caucasian male, you don't have the right to hit a woman back if she hits you, and a woman can hit you and nothing happens to her.
We're not saying that's right, Bobby. I'm not saying that's
everybody
right at
knows
all.
about this judge
In Atlanta.
who beat up his wife?
His second wife. He assaulted, he damn near killed his first wife. He broke this woman's nose and maybe an orbital bone in her around her eye or something. And they gave him a misdemeanor. And he's still sitting on the bench. He's a federal judge.
Allowed to judge people after all this because he is a Caucasian male. That is why. This isn't hard to figure out when people ask these questions. There's a double standard in society that they refuse to say. But you know what it is. Because I know whenever I'm into it with a woman, because of my skin, I'm going to jail.
Immediately.
I'm going to jail, regardless of whatever happened. I will admit, one time these police officers arrested this girl who was very aggressive toward me because there were witnesses, and these were two female cops too. And they pulled up, and when everybody said what happened, they arrested the girl.
But wouldn't you agree, though, Corey, that it also has to do with the color of the girl you're involved with as well?
That's interesting.
Because I've seen that happen. I've seen somebody going, well, it's just too.
I get two black people.
Oh
right?
yeah, or even a Latina or whatever.
But
let it be.
Well, listen, when the police pull up, it's a judgment call on them. But their judgment will always be against somebody like me. So, like, let's say if I'm fighting a black girl, I'm going to jail.
Oh no, we know this, but I'm just saying it's the response. Like, is it going to be immediate? Is it going to be quick? I think I've seen that where they actually hesitate. Like, oh, okay, well, hold on, let us see what they do to each other.
Yeah, because they're sitting there hoping they can get two cases. Because
didn't they arrest both of them? They arrested both of them.
Both of them were charged with assault.
They both were taken in and charged.
They both were charged with assault because they obviously have her on tape hitting him. You're talking about Ray Rice? They obviously have her on tape hitting him. But they're not going to show that tape. TMZ don't want that tape, just like they don't want the Mike Brown tape. They're not going to show that tape.
There must have been some physical evidence on him that indicated that she hit him, even if they don't have the video.
It was spit.
That's how the
they both
police
spit
operate.
on each other too.
If they look at both of y'all and they see signs that both of y'all have wounds, they'll arrest everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, but it's still.
they're not talking about her like that. No.
I want to say to everybody, all the men out there, if you in a fight with your girl, let me tell you, it is very, very self-fulfilling to really just leave her somewhere. Just get the car and leave her. And make her get home on her own. Now, I'm telling you, when she get home, ain't no telling who brought her home. And ain't no telling what's leaking up out of her. But you got to be a man sometime. So, look, check this out. Since we editing this bullshit ass show and it ain't live, we're going to get ready to take a little pussy ass commercial break and try to get some air in this room. But this is the rebirth of the 5150 show. And we shall return. That's what's up. Your mama. Loose talk about bullshit. Zoe sitting over there acting like he interested in what you're saying, instigating the whole damn thing.
Oh boy!
I started it.
Anyway,
that's a devil laugh.
Yeah, that's the evil laugh.
It is. It's diabolical.
That's what I say. Sometimes I sit in child support court, and whenever the dude is not the father, I be like, struggle, bitch. Hey, but look, we're back, and we were going to talk a little bit about a subject that I know mainstream America wants us to forget about. Oh, you CNN motherfuckers, Don Lemon sitting on them suckers sitting up in his ass, moist motherfucker. Beat your ass. No, I'm just, I love you, Don Lemon. I love you, Don Lemon. You my.
What did Don Lemon do to you?
It's what he did to Talib Kweli on that interview. It was very disturbing to me as he tried to cut that brother off every time he tried to speak.
That was kind of genius, but he handled it though, right? Did you see? You watched the whole thing?
Talib Kweli handled it.
Yes,
yeah,
he
he
did.
handled it good.
Yeah.
But he tried to cut him off every time. Just like when you're in an argument with one of these straight low education ass, well, dumb bitches. Anyway, yeah, he was trying to cut him off, and nobody said shit.
Well, he didn't want Don Lemon to paint a negative picture about what was happening, and I think Talib was trying to correct him, like, wait a minute, people ain't out here tripping. It's some unity happening out here, and you trying to make it seem like it's problematic. And he was like, nah, I'm going to tell you what's really going on. And then Don Lemon was trying to interject as he was talking.
Because he did not want what really was going on to be said. They were doing a production. Right. CNN is doing a production of what they want you to see. Yeah. But Talib Kweli was about to tell y'all what it really is, and he would not allow him to speak.
But didn't he try to play it off? If I'm correct, didn't Don try to play it off like he, I was about to get to that. I was going to let you speak your mind, but I needed to take, what was it, something like a break or something? Didn't he try to clean it up? He tried to make it seem like...
Of course he tried to clean it up. That's what bitches do.
Oh, wow.
If Don Lemon was right here, I'd say this to his face. That was a bitch-ass move you did. Yeah, I think he's a bitch. He wear lip gloss. That ain't Carmex. That's straight up lip gloss. I see the little sparkling shit in there.
Carmex is pretty damn shiny too. I've seen you guys be putting it on, and it's really shiny.
What?
Yeah,
it looks like Armor baby diamonds are breakdancing on his mouth. He got on lip gloss. Look like sparkling ladybugs are walking on his mouth.
He got Swarovski crystals on his
He got Swarovski crystals.
Baby diamonds?
Baby ladybugs.
Oh my God.
Are singing the whiz. Can't you feel like that? Yeah, that's what they on his mouth.
Oh my God.
Don Lemon, I don't like you, man. You straight phony. But anyway, back to what is going on. Bobby has a little inside information on what's happening out there in Ferguson, the stuff that the news has decided to cut off. And Bobby, what's going on nowadays out there?
Well, the upside is the people in Ferguson and St. Louis have reached the point where enough is enough, and they decided to bolt from the Democratic Party, which should have been the number one news story for the last week or so, because we've been a part of the Democratic Party, black folks, since Franklin Delano Roosevelt. I mean, in lockstep, 95, 97, 99% of the vote has been for Democratic candidates. And the Democratic Party has been silent throughout everything that's gone on in Ferguson since Mike Brown was executed. And they finally just got tired of the silence and decided to form a new party, and they named it after a righteous sister by the name of Fannie Lou Hamer. And what's significant is it could become a blueprint for self-determination and a pathway to full citizenship, in my estimation, because this episode clearly divides along two lines. One is what happened before the incident with the police, which is something that we need to deal with in terms of our children and their behavior. That's a totally different subject matter from the fact that the police didn't know that the brown kid had an episode at that grocery store. Whatever happened there, the police didn't know anything about it, and his encounter with that young man should not have ended in his death. And the people are clear about that. And this man, the policeman, has yet to been charged. And most times they'll impanel the grand jury fairly quickly. Matter of fact, just yesterday, the race car driver, Tony Stewart, they impaneled the grand jury and decided they're not pressing charges against him. But the bottom line is they impaneled the grand jury and made a decision. They're not going to impanel a grand jury until January. And the people are fed up with that. They said, look, either this man committed a crime or he didn't. We need to know what your judgment is so we can go with the federal route. And so everybody kind of stepped back in the Democratic Party and didn't demand justice immediately. And the brothers and sisters in Ferguson and a few white people said, oh, no. We're going to make a move. And I think it's a decisive one, and it's one that we should replicate across the country and get out of the pocket of the Democrats, because they Republicans just in a different suit.
What you just said right there, they're Republicans in a different suit, is something that really needs to be driven. Because a lot of, in my opinion, black people who go to the polling booths and waste their time, they don't even understand what you mean by that. They think that you're supposed to just vote Democratic, because Democratic, they on our side. They trying to help us. Obama is the first black president. I waited my whole life to see Obama make it. My son could be the president. You stupid motherfucker. Who gives a fuck? Obama is not your friend. He's a politician. He's a politician. I saw a painting where they had Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all these people who were really part of the struggle, and they had Obama sitting at the head of the table like Jesus was in that painting. I was like, are you serious? Obama should be shining their shoes.
Wow.
You know what?
These people were not politicians. These people were real freedom fighters. Everybody in that picture, they were real freedom fighters. They were out there in the mud. But they had Obama at the head of the table like he Jesus, and this is probably the most deceptive black man in the history of this country. In my opinion. That's my opinion.
Wow.
And what are you basing that opinion on?
I'm basing that opinion on what I see. This man knows intelligence that we can't even begin to imagine. The stuff that we know is only a small piece of the puzzle. And he is not informing the people on the doom that is being planned against them. Because just from what we know doom is being planned against us. So how can he call himself the president for the people if you're not giving the people information? Because the people, unfortunately, the ignorant people voted for you thinking you had their back. But I knew the whole time you didn't have their back, because if you are really trying to do something for the people, you're not running for president. That's a bought office.
I think it was back when we was at Sirius XM, you made a statement that still resonates with me today.
He was elected, right?
No, you said he was selected.
He was selected. That's they man. That's what I was saying. That's they man. That's they guy that they put right there. We had some guy, I won't even say his name. He was telling us that Obama has been a part of the intelligence community ever since he was a teenager. He even gave us some name that was his real name. I don't know how true that is. That's why I won't say it. But the guy gave us a name. I can't think of the name right now, but I'll say it. What is it? Barry Soetoro. They said that's Obama's real name. I don't know how true that is, and I don't give a fuck because I don't need to know his real name to see the snake that's on his skin. I see it. I mean, he still has a. This is why I know he still got a heartbeat, because he know what happened to that boy over there in Florida. You remember when
Trayvon Martin?
Trayvon Martin and old boy was he just basically got away with killing that young man. So he had that press conference the next day. That let me know you still got a heartbeat, Mr. Obama. But you need to practice speaking from the heart, because where you speaking from when you talking about all this new shit, now ISIS, the Taliban played out, right?
ISIL.
So
Al-Qaeda,
right,
yeah,
all that shit, man, come on, man. You selling that shit to the sheep, but you got to believe there's a lot of people out here who watch you and know better than what you're doing.
Well, Corey.
Wait a minute. Speaking of
Well, he's
Ferguson,
on his way out of there.
what you were talking about?
Yeah.
Speaking of Ferguson, the Fannie Lou Hamer party
Yeah.
is a brilliant strategic stroke, especially for a city that's made up of that demographic. When you have 67% population black, but then all of the positions like the sheriff, like the mayor, like, the attorney general, all of these people who hold office in that city are white, then that just tells you that the voter bloc, whether you're Democrat, Republican, whatever, we already know that they're part of the same gang, right? Democrats and Republicans. But the difference between white folk and black folk is white folk understand that this whole political game is monopoly with real consequences. So they at least play the game so they can get the outcome that they want.
But the people who are the politicians over there are not so brilliant where they put that together. This system is put together for them to be in that spot.
Right.
Because the motherfuckers who are the governors and all these motherfuckers, just like old boy jumped on his wife and everything, these some dumb ass hillbillies. They just get that spot. That man who shot that brother down, and let me remind people what happened. This teenager was shot down, and from what I understand, he had his hands up. He getting hit with bullets. Can you imagine what that's like to go out like that? Like, I'm defenseless.
Yeah.
And this man, because like what they say about Trayvon, what did they say? They say he was beating him up.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Fighting Zimmerman back.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
They can't say that.
Himself.
They can't say that in this case.
About
this
Mike.
young man not only was shot dead, but his body laid on that ground, and we know how hot the ground is.
Yeah.
Everybody who went near him, the police ran him off. When his uncle came out there and everything.
It did take a long time for.
It's really an awful thing that happened.
Terrible,
And this is what I want all you people who tell me that I'm stupid for not voting. This is what I want you to know. You went out there and voted, especially when Obama got elected the first time. The numbers were, he won the election by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Nobody wanted Bush.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think there was a lot of Caucasian people who didn't even want Bush.
Oh, for sure.
In anymore. But listen, you got that vote. You got all those numbers you wanted, but look at what's happening. It's gotten worse since Obama has gotten in office.
Wow.
As they're making their push to start the war. So all you people who sit in these malls and you talk disrespectful to people who's not down with that voting, I want you to know you are a dumb fuck. You're a dumb fuck.
Tell us how you really feel,
I'm
Corey.
just saying, nobody ever says this to them because
So
they'll
you
out-talk
telling
you.
me
You're a dumb fuck for trying to get people to go in there and do what you do. You a fool. Now you want everybody else to be a fool. And if they say, oh, I don't vote, I don't participate like that, all you got to do is look at how these people look at you when you say that. I don't participate in that.
So are
They
you
act like
telling
something
me,
wrong with
Corey, that there's no way for us to gain an advantage Like say with the Fannie
You
Lou
feel that
Hamer
it's
party.
absolutely just twisted. Like it's, in other words, voting. You shouldn't even do it. What? So you're saying that the numbers are so big that they shouldn't vote because you're not going to get what you want. Basically, in other words, they'll win. They'll get the amount of votes they want. But you're not saying so. You just don't want people to vote at all.
This is what's happening. We're in denial.
I couldn't sit back and think that I'm not doing anything.
We're scared. We are scared, and with good reason. You have good reason. Don't be embarrassed that you're scared. What you have to do to get what you deserve and what your children deserve while you alive is to take what is yours. Nobody wants to do that because you know how it go. Nobody want to get slaughtered. You look at what happened to the young brother Mike Brown by the police. Yeah, if we do what we supposed to do, that is how they're going to come at you. So stop imagining that voting is going to make the people in power give you any power. You got to take it.
So you saying voting is a system of dependence, really? Because instead of you doing it for yourself, you vote in hopes that whatever politician or whatever person is in office will handle your business for you or take care of what it is that you want. But ultimately, they never do that. And then you wind up still not getting whatever you want because you didn't go out and get it yourself? Is that what you're saying?
You're just saying it's not working whatsoever. Whoever's running, it's just not going to work ever?
I watch this happen to a lot of people, and I'm talking about a lot of men who are men. People can say what they want to say about like a Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson hit a certain age, and trust me, he has Caucasian fans, black fans, Asian fans, whatever. But he was bold enough to make this song called All I Really Know Is They Don't Really Care About Us.
Yeah. That's what I know.
Because he came to the realization that this is useless. I could smile and play this game and be able to sit in elite chairs in society and everything because of who I am. But the truth is, the people in power, the people who gave Obama that job, the people who basically have most men, like most of you brothers on who work for ESPN. I definitely like to call y'all out because I'm not talking about all of them because I see a couple of men up there. But I'm saying,
who you talking about specifically?
I'm gonna get back to it. You scared to speak up for what you know is right, and that is the only open mic we really get is when we on television. Yeah. I mean, they got this forum now where people can talk on the internet, but you know,
it's true.
Once we get too loud, once we make too much noise, I really believe that they're going to find a way to shut this down.
Well, that's going to be very hard to do without shutting the whole system down. And I say that within the construct of the Fannie Lou Hamer party and the reality that we're talking about flesh and blood human beings, and they're flawed. They're flawed in the following respect. Voting is just a part of the process. You got to know what you're voting for. And generations ago, you understood the political process to the extent where you knew where all the bodies were buried and how the pieces fit together. And you knew the relationship between a city councilman and a city planner, because a lot of things go on at a local level. Politics is really local. And you look at a city like Ferguson and why there's an advantage there with 67% black population if you have that agenda in place. But if you're just saying we're going to vote the party line without coming to a deal before you actually go into that voting booth, you got to know already what's in it for you. And that means you got to have some skin in the game. And so you end up with a city council, a police department that doesn't reflect you because you didn't see in advance the consequences of not putting your people that you can hold accountable. We have done a poor job as a people holding politicians accountable. When you were, the city you grew up in, Chicago, when Washington was the mayor, he came in and immediately told black folks, he said, look, y'all push me across. And they're going to spread some of this bread around. And you saw some black folks to get some positions in Chicago. And then during his administration, he took the reality of saying, now, we can't run all these white folks out of here or we're going to end up like Newark. Are we going to end up like Compton? Are we going to end up like East St. Louis? We got to keep that tax base. So there's some reality in it. But then along the way, you develop the sophistication to know what to ask the politicians. We don't even really understand the political process.
So you saying we're not even savvy citizens.
And that's to our detriment. But this Fannie Lou Hamer thing, it resonates. I'm telling
Corey
you, man.
doesn't agree.
Well, let me put it to you this way. We're going to continue to be the swing vote nationwide. Whether we realize it or not, we get that vote away without any agenda. Obama didn't promise us shit because we didn't ask him for nothing. Bottom line, we didn't ask him for nothing, and we done got exactly what we deserve. Not shit.
I can't believe that people actually think politics are controlled by the people.
Well, they're not.
Why would you say anything about what you didn't ask of Obama or did ask of Obama? Obama couldn't give you what you asked for.
Then don't vote for his ass.
So
if you don't,
and
if
miss,
you black,
miss a chance to vote in a black man.
No, you ain't voted in no. You have not voted in no black man. What the hell you talking about? Voted in a black man? How is he? Man, what that got to do with the fact that he's invited a white woman to the White House?
But what you not
he invited a white police to the. When you seen Nook or Ray and them at the White House?
Bobby, but what you fail to realize is, let's just be honest. That's why black people voted him in the first place.
What?
It had nothing to do with his agenda. It didn't have nothing to do with his policies. This is a black man.
No, he's not.
But what I'm saying to you is this, Bobby.
Obama's not black.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Let's say you have a candidate where you say everything that you want. Do you think you're going to get it?
Man, I'm going to give you an example.
Harold Washington, I'm from Chicago.
Right.
Harold Washington was slain. He was killed. And I'm going to tell you why he was killed. Because he was too interactive with the blacks. He would have been mayor for a long time. They know it. So what they did, they murdered him. And in the election to see who's gonna be the next mayor, they had two blacks running against each other. This is the two-step, right? This is what they do.
But see what happens when you speak up though, Corey, and you're over here saying people are scared. There's a reason why they're scared. And you saying that it won't shut this down. Yes, they can find other ways. They might not stop you from going on the internet and expressing yourself and saying what you want to say, but they're going to find other ways. That's why you see people not moving up.
I feel it. This is the most depressing thing about me being who I am, because I can't switch who I am. I'm going to be me. But when I see people tell me, they going to come get you, you better be quiet.
It's not even come get you. It's just that you're going to stay at a certain level because they're not going to allow it to happen.
Well, I disagree with that.
Look at how everybody's changed. Did Eddie Murphy, all these other... They were raw in the beginning. They were all rough. They spoke
what kind of moist ass ringtone is that, Bobby?
And then everybody, when they made it bigger, as they moved up and they'd evolved, they changed, right? They stopped.
Everybody when they made it bigger?
Bigger. When I see that people move up, they've changed themselves a lot. They stopped doing certain things. They stopped cursing. They stopped talking about certain
There's a glass ceiling in Hollywood.
Well, we know this.
Once they realize who you are, you're not allowed to move up anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, so
if you're okay with it, then go for it. But some people, when you said, they're scared, well, okay, well, it happens in all things.
Yeah, but I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. People have to face the fact that Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, these kids were killed in vain if you're not going to basically step up and realize we're all in that boat. Just because you didn't get killed today, they can get you tomorrow. Right. I look at what happened to Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown, and basically it makes me say to myself, you know what? They're gonna get me too. Because I know who I am. If I don't get got that way, it was luck. So what we need to do is step up and organize in a way to separate ourselves from these people.
That's the key.
Who have done the same thing.
Is the key.
Since we've been kidnapped and captured and brought here.
And I would accentuate,
You have to separate
and then Bobby finished that off. But I would accentuate the latter. Organization is big. If we could get a collective group of people that can agree on an agenda that we can then organize and move forward, now we cooking with grease. But I mean, we got so many different agendas within our own, it's like a schizophrenic experience for the black people. I mean, it's just fragmented throughout the whole situation, and I think that's our biggest problem is lack of organization. Mm-hmm. When we talk about organization, no one can question the powers that be. They have a contingency plan for when the government break down. They've had all of this stuff planned out for many, many years, and that's why they're in power, because they implement plans 50, 60, 70, 100 years down the line. They know what they want to do.
They've been anticipating this.
Well, it's not that they anticipated it. They planned it. They know if they keep pushing you, as you get closer to the edge, eventually you're going to just jump at them and be like, fuck it, I'd rather fight you than go down the edge. Mm. They know what they're doing. They're pushing you all to the edge. Us all to the edge.
But wouldn't that force and make people come together, though?
No.
It could be against the plan.
People will force and come together.
Happening. I mean, that's kind
of. But Darlene, this is what I want you to know. Mm-hmm. It's just what Zoe said. When we do decide to come together, because something is going to happen that people can't deny, where the enemy is going to be revealed. They're not going to be able to play it off like this Mike Brown shit, like this Trayvon shit. There's going to be an event that happens where people are going to say, these people are trying to kill us.
Okay, so there's a couple of things happening.
And that's when it's on.
Eric Holder, right? Eric Holder has already said we're going to start training community leaders to point out radicals. So now you can't even talk or speak in a divergent way, or now something's wrong with you, right? You're a radical. You're this, you're that. So they're already putting stuff in place. And when you look at the purchasing of all of the bullets the government has purchased, you look at the placement of the over-militarization of all the police departments around, they're undergirding their plan right now.
People think this is something that's going to happen 100 years from now. The war is going to jump off in the next 10 years.
What are you saying, a race war, Corey?
Yes.
Well, before that happens,
I think it's going to be more financial.
Before that, they will still have their pets.
I think it's fine.
Who will stand on the side of the race that has basically destroyed the rainforest, black people,
so you're saying the rest of the world is just going to be like, okay, we've had enough of this shit.
The shit going to jump off. It's going to jump off.
Let me just interject a little
I don't think it's going to be
ray of sunshine by using you as an example, Corey.
I think it's money.
With you being who you've been since I've met you, and everybody that knows how you roll, for you to have the #1 cable show on cable television right now, a successful touring comedy situation, all right, and then you got your other little hustles going. By American standards, you're doing fairly well against every possible odd. Meanwhile, a white man in Florida earlier this week took a 45, shot his daughter, and then killed 6 of his grandkids. That's about the 5th incident in the last month where white people have killed their entire family. And it's directly related to the fact that they done been hoodwinked and bamboozled too. That lower end, that poor white trash segment of our society, they done been pushed and squeezed to the point where they're cracking and crumbling.
So you agree? So Bobby, you agree with Darlene when she says not necessarily racial, but more so financial?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just
starting
saying
off like that though.
I'm saying that there are still severe racial divisions, and they got poor folks snapping at each other when they all dealing with the same issue. There ain't enough resources going around.
I think it's important for me to say this. I'm not saying that black should be against white or white should be against black. I'm not about that. I don't feel that way at all. But what I am saying is there is an elite group.
Yeah.
When I say elite, I'm not talking about they're better than anybody. I'm talking about they have put together a wicked plan, basically to be in control.
But it's
not
falling
only in
apart.
control for money, in control to watch you take the scraps off the table to your family. You know what I mean when I say
And
that,
it's
Bobby?
happening.
Take them scraps home.
and
They get off on that.
That pressure's building.
Enjoy those
But-
scraps too.
Enjoy those scraps.
But
We'll give them enough. They're happy. They're
Right.
They're happy.
But there's
They're
so many
comfortable right now.
flaws in it. You're absolutely right. They
And
have
that's not a
plans.
table full of black men. That's not a table full of Mexicans. That's not a table full of Indians. That's not this is a table of Caucasian men who have planned this. Not all the Caucasian people. I'm talking about this group of men. They have planned this, and their plan is being executed to perfection.
Well, the perfection part is what I want to have a discussion about, because I'm looking at downtown L.A. You know, we live in the greater L.A. area. They got cranes that are constructing high-rise commercial and residential complexes as we speak here. And most of them are with foreign money, because China and the debt that we owe them can no longer be ignored. China is buying chunks of American soil because they don't want to take that dollar no more. They want land. And they're developing an empire right inside our borders. Meanwhile, they're buying chunks of Africa, and they have expanded to the point where, whether they talk about it on the news or not, they the new kid on the block.
I think it's what?
They are the new kid on the block.
think
And they
it's-
got to be dealt with that way.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, our foreign policy is a complete mess. Now, you mentioned ISIS, you mentioned Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, and all of that. We're in a position right now where we don't know who to fight. We really don't. And that's why you got...
Bobby.
What?
No, I don't
Can
think
I
they
say-
that. I don't.
Can I give you my opinion about a foreign policy?
I'm saying we don't have one that makes any
It's
sense.
imaginary. It's a word they put out there for you to hold on to. But you...
I'm
don't
not
know
holding on
nothing
to
of-
it, and
I'm
you aren't
saying-
either.
No, I'm saying you brought it up.
Yeah.
There is no foreign policy. There is no, what do you say, the Asian people are buying land
Man,
here.
they are here.
It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
same thing
Oh,
they
yeah.
did with, what's the brother they killed? Is it Saddam Hussein?
Yeah, he was one of them.
They let
Yeah.
him buy land. They let him spend his money.
But they not
'Cause
China,
they
though.
getting you there.
China got a
To set
economic
you up.
machine, though. The
Hold
Middle
on.
East is too unstable to ever have that kind of economic clout.
But let me tell you something.
They
Let
got
me tell you
oil.
something. Whatever they doing with them people, the one thing you can count on, these people I'm talking about, this elite group of Caucasian men, have done the same thing to them all. They fatten them up and then they kill them.
They're going to have trouble with China, man. I'm telling you, man.
I feel like China a good opponent, huh?
Well, no. But see, you,
China's
Bobby. I
formidable.
know what Bobby is saying, but you speaking on a surface level. The one thing that separates America from all other countries, number one, the war machine and the technology. They got.
But what do they fight over, though?
But
what do you
but
fight over?
You have to understand.
Fight over land.
You have to understand the concept of a nuclear bomb, right? Not to say China doesn't have.
They
them,
got them.
but that's not.
We
that's
can't
not,
fuck with China
But
militarily.
that's not the point I'm
We
trying to
can't do
make,
that.
Bobby.
How do
Just
you
listen.
know that?
Because if you start a nuclear war, it's over.
You talking
with.
about the amount of people?
You can't recover from a nuclear war. It's a wrap.
Let me tell you something about these
When they
beasts.
go to that level, it's over,
But
bro.
Bobby, that's what I'm saying. You're not hearing the point all the way through. Nuclear weapons are deterrents. When you have a nuclear weapon,
China's got
no,
a nuclear
listen,
weapon.
nobody wants to end the game. This is what I keep trying to explain. All over the world, the political process is theater. It's
Do you
theater.
understand what he mean when he say that?
But do you understand that
With
China
real
has to be
consequences.
reckoned with? You
Okay,
can't
but you
play
Of
with
course.
answered,
China.
you answered
Of
me
course.
with a question. But I'm asking you because it's important. when he says it's theater, do you understand what he means when he says
exactly
this?
what he's saying.
It's
The whole
theater,
world is a stage, if you want to put it that way.
But that's the
Shakespeare
point.
said
It's
that eons ago.
theater with real consequences for the lower classes.
Who do you think is in control? I'm not talking about over here. I'm talking about in the whole world.
I believe they're all connected. They all sit at a round table with these white folk in the center. That's what I believe.
That was the old paradigm.
Because look at it this way. Look at it this way. We're looking at China. 2012, China takes over as the biggest economy on planet Earth. 2020. Right? They're forecasted to take over in 2020 as the biggest economy on planet Earth.
Forget about the biggest economy. Who do we owe the most money to?
Again,
why are you saying somebody owes somebody some money and you
Because
weren't
it
there?
matters. It
You
matters.
weren't there. You don't know what you owe them.
Oh, yeah.
How do you
Oh,
know
yeah.
it?
Because
Watch
we
this.
don't-
He's not going to answer this. How do you know they owe somebody some money?
I know we owe them money because there's a such thing as
Well,
the
they
national
are-
debt.
Wait.
We
The
have a
national-
national debt.
Right. So what
And
you know about the
majority
national debt?
of the national debt is owed to China.
That's true.
We stop producing.
They are our
What
biggest
does
lender.
America produce?
Okay.
What do we produce?
Okay.
And
but-
where does all of our products come from? You look in this room here, most of this shit is made in China.
Okay. I
They
believe
didn't give
you.
that shit to
I'm
us.
not taking that away from you. But what I'm asking you is, where are you getting this information from?
It's the same people.
Thank you.
No, I'm not.
same
That's
people.
a good
Getting
point.
No, I'm
hoodwinked.
not. No, I'm not getting
Bamboozled. Led astray.
No.
Where
Ran amok.
you don't know who owe nobody nothing.
There's
When
more
people get
news
shot
so-
in the street,
Somebody
say,
You're
man,
taking
he
what they're
owed me
giving
$20. You don't know if he really owed
So-
him $20.
So to come
Who
back
knows?
to the point, to come back to the bigger point,
Your
we're not
wife,
saying
your wife just came back from England, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now here's how you know that the dollar ain't shit over there, because she took some money over there and the exchange rate didn't work in her
it's
favor.
awful.
But Bobby,
It's awful.
you're right, Bobby.
So
You're-
that's how I know that
Bobby,
people that travel the
this is what
world
Bobby
come
doesn't
back and
get.
tell me that, man, look at here. I got friends that live in that are from Africa. The infrastructure that's being built in Africa is being built with the yen.
Bobby,
All right.
you're right.
They are expanding they bought up all
Bobby,
Let me
kinds
tell
of
you what
natural
my
resources.
homies used to do.
Bobby,
Go ahead.
You're
Tommy.
right. No, but you're right. Your facts are in alignment
Well, he
with
asked
the
me,
truth.
how did I know?
But this is what you don't seem to accept or embrace. It was Napoleon who said, history is propaganda. Just because the information you're quoting and reciting is accurate, that's what they want you to know.
No, they don't
That's
want me
the
to know
narrative.
that.
Yes, absolutely.
They don't
How
want
do you
me to know
find
that.
out then?
If
Given
they
that
want
Because
me
if
to
they
know
didn't want
that-
you to know, you wouldn't know about it.
I'm going to tell him a
the
story
guy-
about
As a
what he's
military
talking
man
about.
sitting right
The guy-
here. If they don't want you to know something,
Man.
you don't know about it.
I know
Yeah.
You
guys.
don't get to sit here and go, yeah, they owe this
Y'all
person.
giving this elite group far too much credit.
They
Because
elite for a reason.
But historically this done ran the cycle, man. America don't get to push that button no more and tell everybody what to do.
Let me tell you something.
We
You
don't
don't
have
have
that
a
authority anymore like that.
superpower. You don't have a superpower like America to make bonehead, blunderous, ruinous kind of decisions. Their whole job for being America is to continue their
Deceive.
dominance.
But time changes everything.
So they can
including car
choose.
tires
They
and baby
can,
diapers.
like for instance,
But he's speaking on Asian
what we
people.
can hear on CNN or
You
what
can
he's
see that.
speaking on
No,
stuff
I'm not-
that's
I'm
He's
not
out
speaking on
there.
Asian
No,
people like he
BBC,
know they business with
China.
America.
Right.
It's
That's
going
what I'm saying.
down.
I know guys who used to give people work. Work meaning the stuff that you sell on the street to make money.
Right.
And they'll let them go out and gather all this territory and all that. But you know what the big gangster do?
What?
He come take it all after you build it.
And
That ship
That's
done
That's
sailed.
what the big
That's
gangster
true.
doing right now when you talk about you see Japan and Africa.
That's-
But you know what the
I'm
key
not talking
is?
big gangster.
about
That's
China.
who run everything.
Corey,
China.
you know what the key
Them
is
the
right
little
now?
homies.
China.
You know
China's
what
not
key
the
is
little
right now?
homies. I'm
You know what
telling
the key
you.
is right now?
China's not the little homies.
Here's the one question that'll shut it all down. Who's the most technologically advanced country on planet Earth?
You tell
And
me
your
something.
point is what?
Because whoever got the top technology runs the world.
But who is
Whoever
it?
has the most
And it's
money
America.
can buy that technology.
Please don't get it twisted. And the
They
rest
was-
of these countries around the world know that. And they know if they got the edge, they've got technologies, they've got advancements. It ain't just business that trickles down to people getting jobs. No. They're playing the game.
They sell those people the virus, but they the only one with the antidote.
Listen, the only way to devalue the Constitution, Bobby,
What Constitution?
just the Constitution that we built everything on here. The only way to break that down and align us back with the statutes of the UN, we got to first devalue the dollar. We got to first devalue the economic infrastructure. We got to get rid of the classes, and we got to create two of them. Extremes. Haves, have-nots.
Well, you just mentioned the UN. The UN just a couple
is-
of weeks ago denounced
I know what
American
you're saying.
terrorism as practiced by the police.
Wait, listen to this. Listen to what Bobby said, because it's important
I'm
that
listening.
you hear Brother Bobby. Say that again.
The UN in session came out with a statement that condemned the United States for their terrorism within their own boundaries with the way they have been practicing police brutality.
Now, can I please say this to you? You have to listen to me, though, Bobby. You can't be against me as far as go with shutting your mind off, because sometimes when people say stuff you don't want to hear, you shut off what they saying.
Go ahead.
Because I heard what you just said,
Okay.
but this is what I want you to know. The UN told one of the most notorious gangsters in the world not to go into Iraq. He said, fuck you, UN, and he went and jacked them people over there for everything they got. Him and his homeboys, I'm talking about Bush. Him and his homeboys went over there and jacked all them palaces over there, and they used the army to watch their back. The army guys wasn't even allowed to go in there because they didn't want them to have a gold coin they might find on the floor.
You
Them
right.
was Bush boys in there
I agree.
Them
You're
the
absolutely
people
right.
who will allow your Asian people that you feel like are taking over. I'm
They're
not
not gonna
against the
ask for
Asians.
permission.
They will allow them, underline the word allow, to do all kinds of stuff. But in the end, it's always going to be the big gangster.
But here's a problem for me, and I appreciate the fact that I did take the time to hear you clearly, and I don't have a beef with that. What I'm saying simply is this. After we did gangster the Middle East and took over that area temporarily, we done had to give it all back. It is more destabilized now. The agenda that we went in there with, spreading democracy and shit, fell completely apart. The lights is still going on and off in Baghdad.
What is destabilized over there?
Destabilized mean they can't make no money. Every time they build something, somebody tear it down. We spend a fortune over there. Fortune. We spend $1 billion a day.
What about the pipeline that
We
Halliburton
producing
built?
more oil here than we are taking from over there. It's not even about that anymore, because what we needed to do was use that corridor to protect our interests around the whole region. All right, that's why we protect Israel the way that we do. But what has happened is it's led from one hot spot to another. Iraq, the government is in shambles.
But
right
you're
now.
talking about the theater.
Syria is getting pulled in.
You're talking about the play.
You
Oh,
took
that
the
ain't no
words
play.
out my mouth.
What play are you talking? These are human
It's-
beings
this-
that are getting their ass torn
Bobby,
up.
I just
Hold
said
on.
That ain't
it's
no play.
I just said it's a play with real consequences
He giving
that
you-
affects the lower class.
He
The
giving you-
consequences
Go ahead.
is
Go ahead, Bobby.
instability.
All right. He
You
giving
can't make money without stability.
This man is giving you the information that was given to him by the people who wanted him
Right,
to
they're
have
still
that
selecting-
information.
They're still
And he
selecting what
don't
they
see
want
it.
us to know.
And it's not that Bobby is dumb. It's just it's scary to think that there are people that stand on this just like he does, while there are some people who just don't see it.
There are some people who don't understand why building number 7 fell.
I get what you
The
saying.
one building that wasn't hit.
I
What
just
did
explain-
that fall for?
Explain to me, Corey.
How did that
How
fall?
are you able to make a living if the man is who you say he is?
I'm able to make a living because the people chose me. Hollywood don't give me shit, or anything they have given me, that's just extra butter on the popcorn. I get the popcorn when I go out there and them people know I'm coming to town because they come see me. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate all the people who come see me. Mm-hmm. That's why after my shows, I stand outside with them and shake their hand and kick it with them and talk to them just like I'm one of them. Mm-hmm. I don't hide in the back. Mm-hmm. I can't hide in the back because I'm glad that I eat. Right. But what I'm saying is, I'm smart enough to know that when I cut on that television, the information I'm given from that television is to program me.
It's selective.
Right.
But I'm not relying on the television.
But see,
but any news.
But Bobby,
I wouldn't trust any news.
I'm not relying on. I know people from around the world that I communicate with directly that live in these other places, who've traveled to these other places, and the information they give me is not filtered. They have actually seen the power and the impact of the tilt and the shift in the world's resources, because America does not produce anything anymore other than paper.
But that doesn't stop
America
from being Billy Badass on planet Earth.
He thinks. You know what Bobby is making the mistake of doing? You are making the mistake of taking for granted the most wicked beast in the history of this motherfucking planet.
Well, you got
them people.
A couple of things.
Let me tell you something.
Why do we fight wars? What do we fight
Bobby,
wars over?
A couple of things are happening
to justify what we jacking.
No. A couple of things are happening right now. Number one, the U.S. government is starting to target American citizens. What has come out was the NSA wiretaps. Number one. Number two. Number one priority for Homeland Security is the people who are speaking against America in America. So the people who are trying to be sovereign, or the patriots that are fighting against the diminishment of their constitutional rights, they are becoming the number one target for Homeland Security.
Bobby, did you hear
America is about to turn on its own folk.
Well, they're hunting for that boy down in Pennsylvania right now for that very reason, because he hates the police and he killed one, wounded another one, and it's been festering because the America that he thought he lived in turned on him. And there's enough of those folks that they have to keep a close eye on, because those supposed to be the real Americans, the true patriots, and they're actually trying to exercise their First Amendment rights and all that bullshit.
I believe there's enough people in this country trying to put together a movement to rise up against the elites, but I'm not giving these elites praise because I admire them. I'm giving them praise because you have to be aware of how brilliant they are.
It's brilliant.
They are not dummies. Mm-hmm. They are not going to allow people from Asia to run nothing.
They're not allowing.
And they've proven that in the past.
They're not allowed, and the past is the past. And I'm gonna go back to what you said. You are able to make a living because you connected to a part of the market that's down with you. And other than killing all of them, they got to let you get your paper, because they're not letting you. It's happening organically between you and your marketplace. True. The same thing is happening worldwide. We cannot shove American principles down other people's throat the way we used to. We don't have it like that no more.
I believe that, Bobby. What you said,
like
I have witnessed that. I don't travel out the country a lot, but when I went to Iceland and we were in this bar, I was with these two guys, the two Caucasian guys, right? Mm-hmm. And I saw the way they were rolling their eyes at us.
Oh, yeah.
And the bartender was very cocky. And it was a woman too, and she said something smart about Americans as they ordered, I wasn't drinking beer at the time, but I was with them, and I felt this was gonna happen when I was in there. This dude walked up to me and said, "Why are you with them?" And I didn't even know what to say. I mean, I'm a comedian. This is one of the guys who run this comedy company, and there's the other dude that they put on the show. Even though everybody had came to see me, I didn't have enough power or balls at the time to say, I don't want that motherfucker on the show. But the truth is, yeah, Bobby, you say that, I believe you. But here's the thing. It goes right back to what I was talking about earlier. People don't want to be slaughtered in the street. That is the only reason why the war hasn't jumped off. But eventually, you are not going to be able to just be like, okay, I don't want no problem. You're going to be like Mike Brown was in his last minutes where you getting shot and you just going to be like, oh my God, it's happening. Because that's how they coming at you.
And let's think of it this way. Martin Luther King was killed when he started talking about black empowerment. Okay, we got to kill Martin.
You showed that video on your show, right?
Yes, exactly.
I think everybody in America should watch that video that you showed on the show.
Which one?
And let me just say this, Bobby, real quick. It's not about money. White people, and when I'm talking about white people, I'm talking about the government. They don't care about money. Money is an instrument of debt for the user of it, for the one who works for it. Right. It's an instrument of debt. That's how they enact power over you.
Then how is it not about money?
But no, listen very carefully. Your boy, Saddam Hussein. We got oil here in Iraq. We don't want to use the world currency. What is the world currency? The dollar. We don't want to use the dollar. We got oil, we got gold, we got resources. We gonna sell our oil for gold. Or we gonna make our own currency. Oh, that's what you gonna do? We coming in there, and we gonna kill you.
Because you're not gonna take our power.
A few years later, Gaddafi. We gonna create the African Union in the Middle East, and we gonna take our oil, and we only gonna trade it for gold, and the gold we gonna create comes from Africa, and it's gonna be our dinar.
Can I ask you a question?
A little bit later, they in there, they kill Gaddafi.
Why you think that has never...
spirit of the people, though?
Hold on, let me say
That's not the point, Bobby.
Look, check this out. Why do you think...
They're fighting now.
That has never been made a movie? Because what they did to Gaddafi as he was trying to organize... Just like Martin Luther King.
Get him out of here.
Just like Martin Luther King. When he stopped talking about them, stop spraying us down with hoses and started talking about what they was doing to people to keep them in the hole. Mm-hmm. They might open their eyes and make people turn against them. Just like in Ferguson, everybody was pointing at them police. Right. You the bad guy. They had to stop that. They put on the bad guy Ray Rice, a powerless man. But now he's the most hated man in America.
But like I said, they changed. And again, the story, media is propaganda.
Thank you.
So they changed the national story. The NFL had the video in April. Now, it doesn't take a genius to know when you see the first video when he dragging her out of the elevator that she got knocked out. We know she got knocked out. So think of it this way. September 8th, this big campaign. Yo, we boycotting everything. Black men, black women, we coming together, we boycotting everything. September 9th, you put out the Ray Rice video? Instantly changes the national conversation from Ferguson to domestic violence. And then right after that, back to back, football players, domestic violence, football players, domestic violence, football player abuse. Now, we got to go back to Old Faithful. The most hated man in America is the black man. The most maligned man in America is the black man. Let's make that the national story again. Right when we were about to come together.
And this what's up. See, we here late. And we got to get ready to wrap it up. But this is what we do. To be back with Bobby, even though we agree to disagree.
Oh yeah,
Bobby is an important tool in what we trying to talk about, because sometimes debate is what you need to have people see both sides. Darlene, come back. She has a point of view. Zoe has a point of view, and this thing works. And what we trying to do. We're going to get this thing back cracking live where everybody can chat and do how we used to do. But all of the news that you see on television, I want the 5150 show to be the anti-news. To tell you what you should be hearing. Because I know that there's a big audience at home who watch the news and you just depressed because your voice isn't heard. We want to be that voice. We the 5150 show, and we'll be back in full effect. That's what's up. 5150 Nation. We back.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Okay, that's a good side.
What time is it? Because I knew it was getting
11.
late. I knew it was getting late. That's why I was like,
right on it.